David Cameron was branded the worst Prime Minister in 100 years, over his failure to take into account the anger British voters felt toward the European Union and the British government when he agreed to hold a vote on Brexit. David Cameron resigned following the results of the Brexit referendum in 2016, and his decision provoked the fury of former Cabinet Minister David Miller, the British broadcaster, who served in both the Thatcher and Major governments. Branded Mr. Cameron the mother of all disasters as he shamed the former Prime Minister for his role in the Brexit debacle. The former politician insisted Mr. Cameron should have anticipated that people would want to give the European Union and the British government a good kicking. Speaking to LBC, Mr. Miller said, "The worst Prime Minister in 100 years has surely got to be David Cameron. He created this Brexit nonsense almost without realizing what he was doing. Like a child in a firework factory who thinks what fun to light that match. Theresa May is disastrous. But she is not the mother of all disasters. The mother of all disasters is David Cameron. I hope wherever he's enjoying a glass of champagne and chillaxing this weekend, he will realize, look in the mirror and think all of this is my fault, because it is." Mr. Miller also hit out at Mrs. May over her lack of leadership in her 3 years of office, insisting she had thrown away her party's lead on the Labour Party with her decision to hold a general election in 2017. He continued, "She had a 12-point lead going into the general election and she threw that away because people looked at her and thought, I'm not sure we like this one. She let the civil servants do it without any political leadership whatsoever, so she brought back a deal anyone in their right mind, whether you wanted to come out of the EU or stay in, couldn't possibly sign up to." But Express Co-UK readers this week rated Theresa May as the Britain's worst Prime Minister since 1945. Mrs. May ranked first out of the 14 candidates after 11,775 readers out of the 28,329 who took part in the Express poll cast their vote between the 5th of June 6. Mr. Cameron placed fourth with 1,958 votes behind Labour Prime Ministers Tony Blair and Gordon Brown. Theresa May sparked the fury of Brexiteers and Remainers alike for her mismanagement of the Brexit negotiations with the European Union. Following disastrous results at both the local and European elections in May, Mrs. May announced her resignation and stepped down on the 7th of June. The Conservative Party last week announced changes in the internal rules regulating the trial leadership contest to select the new Prime Minister. The 11 MPs currently in the running will need the backing of 8 colleagues to ensure they can take part in the first round of votes on the 13th of June. Former Foreign Minister Boris Johnson emerged as the bookies' favourite due to his outspoken support for Brexit and his pledge to deliver Britain out of the EU with or without a deal. Fellow Tory leadership candidate Michael Gove on Saturday provoked outrage after confessed to having taken cocaine on several occasions when working as a journalist. The Environment Secretary made the confession ahead of a publication of a book about him by journalist Owen Bennett. The book Michael Gove, A Man in a Hurry, makes the claim that he owned up to use of the Class A substance when put through his paces by advisors during the last leadership contests in 2016. Mr. Gove told the Daily Mail, "The book is correct. I did take drugs. It is something I deeply regret. Drugs damage lives. They are dangerous and it was a mistake." The Tory frontbencher said he does not believe past mistakes disqualify you, but admitted, "Obviously it will be for my colleagues in Parliament and members of the Conservative Party to decide now if I should be leader." The book claims after his admission to advisors, Gove was instructed not to give that answer in public, and told to fall back on the words David Cameron had used when he was running for leader, namely that politicians are entitled to a private life before entering politics. Mr. Gove was never asked the question during the campaign but was eliminated in the second round.